I'm about to ruin every pakora recipe you've ever followed. Keep watching because I'm about to show you one batter, 3 different pakora. Pakora are a brilliant light snack. And the batter that I'm going to show you today is so versatile that you can use it to make plain pakora or any number of different types of pakora. And the options are endless. Today I'm going to show you 3. The first thing we're going to do is mix together the dry ingredients, and pakora are actually made primarily of gram flour. Now I'm going to use a cup to measure my ingredients, and this cup is 250 millilitres. Normally I just throw it in and wing it, but so that you kind of know what measurements I'm using, I'm going to show you with a cup. So we're going to use 3 cups of gram flour. You can, if you want, to sieve this, but I never do. It just goes in. Now this is going to make about 30 to 40 pakora today. I'm making a big batch, so if you want to make less, just use less gram flour. I'm also going to add in rice flour. The rice flour is I think what sets my pakora apart from anybody else's, because it just gets them really crispy and makes them so moreish. So we're going to add in 2 really good tablespoons of rice flour. Then I'm also adding in some baking powder. You want about half a teaspoon. This will just help them fluff up a little bit on the inside, and it will just make sure that they cook all the way through. It's not essential, but I just find that they do cook better when it's got a bit of baking powder in. You also need just a handful of spices. So we're going to use coriander, salt obviously, garam masala, and a little bit of ground cumin. We're also going to add in some anardana, which I forgot. So pakora actually do need a good amount of seasoning, so don't be afraid when I tell you how much we're going to put in here today. Use a tablespoon. Into this we're going to add 3 generous tablespoons of coriander. If you have coriander seeds at home and you can grind them coarsely, then they're actually really nice in pakora. They're really lovely when you bite down into them. Then we're going to add in a good tablespoon of salt. If you want to add less or more, that's entirely up to you. What I do suggest is you start with less, fry 1 pakora when the batter's ready, and then just check it before you fry the rest. That way you can adjust the seasoning. Then we're going to add in just a small amount of cumin, so a good half a tablespoon. And then finally anardana, or pomegranate powder. If you've never come across anardana before, it really just adds a good tang. Now I'm running out, so I'm just going to sprinkle what I've got left in here. But you want a good couple of tablespoons if you've got it. And then lastly, we're going to add in a good tablespoon of garam masala. I'm running out of all my spices today. Now that all your dry ingredients are in, you're just going to give this a quick mix together. It just means that all of the spices are then evenly distributed into the flour. And you can also just squeeze out any lumps in the gram flour as well while you're here. Don't worry too much about them. They will just mix into the water when we add it later. Now that that's done, we're going to prepare our fresh ingredients. The other main ingredient you're going to need is onions. I'm using 3 different varieties here. I always like to add a different variety of onions because it just gives you different flavours and different textures. The more onions, the better, I say. So I've got 4 brown onions and 2 small red onions. All you need to do is slice these up into half moons. By slicing them in half moons, you'll end up with a nice scraggly pakora. which means that it'll be nice and crispy around the edges and still a little bit soft in the middle. I think they're the best kind of pakora. Chopping all these onions might require a pair of goggles over your eyes. It's teary business. Once your onions are all sliced, you can pop them into your flour. Then we're going to dice up some tomatoes. You might not have seen anyone add tomatoes into their pakora, but Mum has been doing this for such a long time. And I don't know what it is about the tomatoes in the batter, but it just makes the pakora taste amazing. So if you've never added tomatoes into your pakora batter before, do try it. Just want to dice them up reasonably small. They can now go into your flour too. Then you're going to need plenty of fresh coriander. This is where a lot of your flavour will come from. Now, if you're one of those people that don't like coriander and it tastes like soap, leave it out. You can just add the ground coriander, that should be okay. And instead of the fresh coriander, you can add in chopped rocket leaves or watercress instead. That will give you that nice peppery flavour. And you can add in a squeeze of lime and a little bit of lime zest too, just to give you that citrusy element. If you've seen any of my videos already, you'll know how much I love coriander. That's part of the reason why there's so much in here today. Now that can go into the bowl too. And then your last couple of ingredients. Green chillies for the heat. Now, I already had some blended and frozen, so all I'm going to do is snap a little bit of that off. Put it into a small bowl and just mix it with a little bit of warm water so that they can defrost. If you're using fresh chillies, add them to your own taste. Also remember that some chilli batches are hotter than others, so check how hot yours are before you put them in, otherwise you might blow your head off. I'm just going to let those sit for a minute while we add in ginger and garlic paste. Again, if you've got fresh, use it, that's fine, but I make my own ginger and garlic paste, so I'm adding that in here. If you're using paste and you're using my recipe, use about 1 tablespoon, and then you can add in your green chillies. If you're using frozen, they should be defrosted by now in that water. Now what you need to do is mix all of that together before you add any water in. The reason is because a lot of what we've put in there is going to release its own liquid into the batter. So what you don't want to do is add water and then have everything else release its liquid into the batter too, because it'll just be too wet and you won't be able to handle it. What you'll then start having to do is add either more rice flour or more gram flour, and then it just becomes like a stodgy batter. It's not as nice. So give this a really good mix and make sure all of it is coated in that flour. And when you do this at home, honestly, the smell is so scrummy. Then once that's mixed in, you're just going to leave this to sit for a few minutes. Let the water that's going to draw out of the onions and the coriander and the tomatoes, let that happen before you add in any more water. Just a few minutes. Then after a few minutes, it will start to look a little bit like this. And you can see that some of that moisture has been released into the flour. Now is when you can add your water. Now you need to work quick. Don't leave your batter sitting those vegetables will still release water into the batter if you leave it sitting. So if you want nice, scraggly, crispy pakora, work fast. Add your water in gradually. And when it's looking a little bit like this, you can stop adding your water. Make sure your oil is already medium hot before you add any water into your batter, because if you then wait for your oil to get warm, this will just be so difficult to handle. Drop a little bit of your batter into the oil to make sure it's warm enough. It should come to a sizzle straight away. You don't want your oil to be too hot. You want to keep it at about a medium heat so that it allows the pakora enough time to cook without burning on the outside. This is also a good time for you to check your seasoning. Wait for this to finish cooking and then you can have a taste, see if it needs any more salt or chilies or anything else that you feel you want to add in. You can drop in small amounts of batter. Now I'm doing this by hand, but if you want to, you can do it with a spoon, a little ice cream scoop if you want to. When you do drop them in, don't worry about forming it into a nice tidy ball, just let it form its own shape. Those edges of the onions will go nice and crispy when they're finished frying. Then while your pakora are frying, you can prep your next ingredient, gobi or cauliflower. Make the most delicious pakora, and they are my mum's favourite. So grab about 4 or 5 florets and you're just going to slice them up so they look a little bit like this. You can chop your cauliflower or your gobi really small if you want to and mix it into the batter, that's fine too. Whatever you prefer. I just like it in pieces. But you need to cut it small enough or thin enough that it will cook through. Once your pakora have had a few minutes to fry, just give them a little flip. Turn them over in the oil so that they catch even colour on both sides. And if some of them are stuck together, you can just gently prise them apart. They only take about 4 or 5 minutes to cook. Just make sure you keep it on a gentle heat. If you leave the heat too high, then the oil gets too hot and they just go really dark on the outside and they don't cook on the inside. And that's never a good thing. And then when they're looking nice and golden brown, like this, you can carefully take them out and set them to drain. And that's your first lot of pakora done. Just a simple plain onion pakora. Now we're going to make the gobi pakora. So grab the cauliflower that you've just chopped up, pop it into one side of your batter, don't mix it into all of the batter. And again, we're going to work quick. So just split that batter in half and quickly mix in the gobi into the other half. I'm just going to grab a good amount like this and again, drop it into your batter. Use a spoon if you want to, that's absolutely fine. You don't have to do this by hand. And then while those are frying, you can prep your next set of ingredients. We are using spinach and potatoes. Also make the best pakora. Roughly chop your spinach. For the batter that we've got left, I'm going to use about 2 handfuls should be enough. And pop that in. Along with a small potato, you can just chop this up into small pieces. Make sure that you slice the potatoes thin enough that they cook reasonably quickly. They need to look a little bit like this. I'm going to add a little bit more potato into mine. I'm also going to add in a little bit of ajwain or carom seeds. Now, if you want to, you can add these in at the beginning when we make the batter. It is actually really nice in pakora. So I'm just adding in half a teaspoon now, just to give these a slightly different flavour to the other ones. Now, before we mix that in, I'm going to turn the other pakora, just so that they can cook evenly on the other side. Again, if they are stuck together, just break them up gently. And these are the onion pakora we made earlier. I can't wait to eat them. Now that I've finished eating my pakora, we can take out the gobi pakora and mix the spinach into the remaining batter. If you find when you're mixing in your spinach and potatoes that your batter is now too wet, don't worry. Just add in gradually a little bit more gram flour and then recheck your seasoning before you fry them. That extra gram flour will just help it all hold together. And because these aren't the onion pakora, we're not too worried about the scraggly bits. Then once they've been cooking for a few minutes, again, you're just going to turn them over. And now we can take these out too. You just want to make sure that the potatoes are cooked through. It doesn't actually take that long because you should have sliced them quite thin. So they only take a few minutes.
1 batter, 3 pakora, and now you'll never do it any other way. This recipe is also in my book Sal and Roti, along with all the other secrets that I've been keeping. The link is in the description along with today's recipe. If you enjoyed this today, like it, share it, and if you're not already following, then now's the time. There's plenty more where that came from. Go on, what are you waiting for? Make me proud.